All right, bitches, we got that shit done. So, everyone's been asking me for a YouTube video. It only took me a month to pull my shit together and talk about USAs. So, let's just do a quick recap while me and Alan get ready to go. We're gonna go hit a push day at Harriman. But anyway, so go to Universe, lose, you know. And I was pretty bummed. I didn't want to I don't even want to go to USA's, but my buddy JR, who I ended up staying with, and Ariel were like, dude, this is just like, it's a peaking thing. Like, it's just your diet. And I'm like, bro, I was inside out, you know, like I'm thinking, all right, whatever. Like, what's another month after you've been doing this for a year? So, I go back, I'm literally home for like a week, and I don't even make it the whole week. And I'm like, I gotta get to Vegas. So me and Nate Joyner drive out to Vegas to stay with my buddy JR. And we know Justin Dees, who manages the Dragon's Lair, and Flex is the owner. And Justin's like, you can come stay out here, like I'll hook you up. So we end up getting a good hookup from Justin, and we have JR who we're staying with. So we're like, this is a no-brainer. We're going out there, we just got to pay for gas, we're bringing our food. So Nikki's like, yeah, go do it. So I leave. Nate's wife, Latina, lets him leave. And we go out there 17 days early for USA's. And JR's like pretty hardcore. He's like, we're going to wake up at 2:50 and do check-ins, be out the door by 3, and then you're going to go do your hour of cardio, abs and sauna, and we're gonna pose in the sauna. And I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like, in my head I'm thinking, okay, it's really only 4 o'clock because of the time change. Like, I can probably adjust pretty quickly. So we do it the next day, and it whoops my ass. So then we come home, we go back to bed or whatever after we eat our first meal, wake up at 7:45-ish usually. Yeah, it's 7:30. I might be getting the hours off a little, but we'd eat our second meal, and then we'd either train it was either 8 or 9, and we'd go to the Dragon's Lair, train hard as shit. JR's not in prep. Well, he was far enough out that his food was still relatively high, and so he's like, I'm not gonna let your training intensity drop. So I go back and I hit it with JR, like, and he beats the shit out of me. Like, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do this every day. And he's like, yeah, you can. Like, we'll keep the training intensity up. So next day, so after that, I'm just gonna tell you our little schedule. So after that, we'd go to bed, or we'd go back, eat our second meal, take a nap, and we'd pretty much just like hang out all day. And after we had 5 meals in, it was usually around like 5 o'clock, we'd go and do our second hour of cardio and sit in the sauna for 15 minutes. And this goes on for a week. And we're just training hard as shit, beating the shit out of us. And this is so Monday to Monday, and I compete on Saturday. So then Monday rolls around, and Ariel posts a video of me, and it just blows up. And I start getting followed by like all these big guys in the industry, and like really a humbling experience. I'm from Lehigh, Utah, like little fish. And I was like, holy shit, like I'm sending screenshots to Nikki, like of all these guys that I look up to that are following me. And then I get hit up by a clothing company, and they're like, hey, we think you look sick, would you like sponsorship? And I was like, holy shit, like that's like the dream for bodybuilding, is just to get like plugged by any sort of company, and it just gives you like value, and you feel like, okay, I'm not just wasting all this time and energy. So I'm like hyped as shit. And JR was actually sponsored by Flex's company. So Flex Lewis's clothing company. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with this company. And JR, he told me, he was like, like, just sleep on it, like you're excited, you know. And I was like, okay. Like, I slept on it, and I woke up, and honestly, like, and there's a lot of like guys that I looked up to. Sadiq was talking to them, and I mean, he was, I don't know how things ended up evolving, but he was someone that I first looked up to. He was my number one favorite men's physique competitor when I got into this back in the day, 2015, working at GNC. He was sponsored by Cellucor, and I think he's still with them. But anyway, I was hyped, but I just didn't feel like it was the right thing for me. But I mean, I wasn't being picky, so I woke up and I was driving to the gym, and I was actually talking to JR, and I was like, you know what, man, like, how big of a blessing would it be if I got on with like Flex's company, and like we could just keep doing this together? Because ultimately my goal and Nikki's goal is to move out to Vegas and me train with him full time. So I go to Flex's gym, and we're warming up, and I'll never forget this. And he, like, I get called over, you know, and he basically just says, like, been watching you train for the last couple weeks. You look crazy. Like, you're super conditioned. I could tell when you're at the gym, you're dialed in and you work hard. He's like, I've asked around the gym about you, and JR he verified, like, you're a good dude, and I'd love to bring you on with, like, this clothing company, and it's culture, what I'm wearing. And I was like, holy shit, like, my bodybuilding idols go, like, Dorian, Jay, and Flex are, like, my top 3. And I was like, holy shit, like, I literally, like, zoned out for a second, and he's like, are you okay? Or maybe that was later when he FaceTimed me. And I was like, bro, like, I am so starstruck right now. I was like, you are, like an idol to me, you know? And it was just super cool. And then they were like, hey, do you want to do a photo shoot tomorrow for the clothing company since you're, like, in shape and everything? I was like, sure. So this is, like, Tuesday. Now Wednesday we're doing a photo shoot. My day just feels like a freaking dream. And I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, I woke up, looked at myself in the mirror, and 2 things happen. One, when you get into bodybuilding, you have, like, this image of yourself that you're chasing, and obviously that evolves over time. But I woke up and I was like, shit, this is what I wanted to look like when I first got into this. Like, this is the look. And I looked at myself and I was like, I won, like, without a doubt. I went down and I did check-ins that morning, and JR did my video every morning, and Nate Joyner was still there, and they both were like, yeah, I don't see you lose. Like, they're like, I don't know how you could lose. And that was the attitude I had moving forward. So when Thursday rolled up, Ariel had me go over, like, I was, like, probably one of the first people there. I think I was the first person there. And we just started chilling and just talking. I wasn't even posing. I was just mostly just kicking back. You know, if anyone that knows me can probably guess we were chilling. And everyone was coming in and posing, and he was making, like, corrections and adjustments and doing this and doing that. And I got up after everyone had left. He was like, hey, let me look at you. And I got up and he was like, yeah, you look on. And he's like, we just gotta maintain. And then Friday we wake up, day just blows by, and I was eating substantially more food than I had ate at the last show, like 4 times as much. and we didn't pull carbs, we didn't deplete. I literally depleted for half of a day, and Ariel was like, put the food back. So we kept things full, and I was hard as shit, you know. Like, that was the first, I've had striated glutes before, but that was the first time that, like, my ass looked like a goddamn walnut. So we were like, we just knew, and he was like, I'm just gonna keep you full. So then Friday, I'm eating. It's like 7, or I don't even remember what time it was. It was like 9 o'clock, and I decided to go to bed. I slept all the way to 5 without waking up. And everyone was like, how did you just get so much sleep? And I was like, honestly, I have no idea. I was just like in such a good headspace and so confident. So I woke up, we go back to the hotel, we see Ariel, and I am being well, I'd already been pretty cocky all week, but at this point I was telling everyone, I was like, well, shit, I'm going pro. I don't know about you guys. And Aaron and Ariel were like, shut up, like, you better back this shit up. And I was like, I will back this up, like, don't even worry about it, you know. And all of a sudden we get a text, and they're like, hey, things are going ahead of plan, so we all need to, like, go downstairs. And we walk down, and Class A is already walking through. So we had guys that didn't even step on stage because of how quickly the show was, like, running. So I was all, like, panicked and running, and then, like, you start thinking logically, and you're like, okay, it's Class A, I'm at Class F. So at that point, I was like, I went backstage, and usually at shows, I like to talk to everyone, and I'm just, like, friendly, and it's whatever, like, that's just how I am. But this show, I was like, you know what, I need to lock it in. So Ariel had a table at the show, like a booth, and I just went, set all my shit up next to it, and laid down, and everyone could see me. I wasn't even backstage, and I just watched Demon Slayer, and Nikki came and sat next to me, and all of my, like, close, like, entourage, if you will, like, the guys who had been prepping with me, we were all sitting together, you know. And I ended up going through a third-party tanner. I can't remember their name, but they're amazing. She does, like, most of the muscle contests, so Cali and, like, Nevada, AZ, that area. I've tagged her, but she's amazing, so we'll try to plug that. But anyway, so but she wasn't allowed to go back and gloss, and she was like, do not let anyone touch you, they'll fuck up your tan, like, you just got to do it this way. And I was like, okay, like, you have a lot of energy about this. So she gave me my gloss, and JR ended up glazing me, or glossing, whatever the hell it's called, and he applied it all, and I was pumping up, and Nikki was there, like, watched the whole process. Ariel's like, eat a Pop-Tart. I end up eating, like, I ate 4, like, right off the bat. And I looked back at John, and I was like, how's my chest look? And John's like, you could take more food. So I end up eating, like, 6 or 8 Pop-Tarts before I go on stage. And I'm just, like, pumped as shit. And whatever they're called, I can't think of their names, the people that, like, work backstage, this is how new I'm still into this shit. The dude, like, runs out, and he, like, calls my number. He's like, bro, we've been calling you for, like, 5-10 minutes. Like, he's like, you're going on stage. So I'm like, oh shit. So, like, I run back, and Aaron's in line, and I do, like, a set of push-ups. And I look down the line, and I go, which one of you MFers is taking second? Because I got this shit. And Aaron looks at me, and he's like, pfft. Like, I was on. And I just kept doing push-ups, and I stayed locked. And I went out there. And all week, I knew, like, I love you, Jordan. But I knew Jordan was going to be probably, like, my hardest competition, just because he has a better front than me, I think, personally. I need to still, like, work on my front pose. He has a really full chest. But I knew I had a better back, and I knew all week, Ariel had even said, like, it's going to be between you and Jordan probably. So we all line up, we do our individuals, and they call us. And I was probably second or third person called. And I was like, well, I know they're going to compare me to Jordan, so I'm just going to wait to see where Jordan stands, and then just go stand next to Jordan and get it over with. And if he's better than me, then I just get it over with, because that's my mentality. I just want to rip the Band-Aid off. So he goes and stands on the end, and I was like, hello darkness, my old friend. I like walk back, and I was like, well shit, I'm starting on the end and next to Jordan. So I walk my ass out, stand there. They go front pose, back pose, then face to front, and then they call my number, boom, straight to center. And they moved people around, and sure enough, they placed Jordan. He ended up taking third. I think he should have taken second. But yeah, sure enough, Jordan was next to us, and I didn't move the whole time. So if you hold center the whole time, that means that you won. Like, and I knew right away at freaking 11 in the morning that I was an IFBB pro. But I couldn't let off the gas, because it's like, what do you know? Like, Nate had just gotten whatever, like, they ran through it again, rejudged at the night show for Universe. So I was like, maybe that shit happens to me. So I go eat some fries, chill, eat more Pop-Tarts. Fast forward, we go out, and sure enough, I take first place. But I will tell you, it was just a huge, overwhelming blessing. Like, I was standing there, and they're calling, like, I had never medaled at a national stage. I went from not medaling twice to going pro and taking first. But when we were going, and when they announced second place, I shit you not, I try to explain this to people. It's really hard to like put into words, but if you've ever had like a hard test or something that gives you like an overwhelming amount of anxiety, and then you finish that, you can like feel a tangible weight lifted off of you. I felt such a relief of weight off of my chest that I literally almost threw up, because I think I had just been I had dedicated straight 3 years, no messing around, almost to the day, because I started going after it in 2019. I did my first show 2021, and I did not stop from 2019 to 2022. Like, I was locked in. I made a lot of sacrifices, so to feel that was like the craziest shit. So anyway, but yeah, so I go pro, and it was crazy. And then Nate Joyner, shout out to him, my other buddy, we drove out there. I told him, I said, I feel more confident in you turning pro than me, because I think you got shafted at the last show, and this is gonna work out. And I told him that from the jump. And I went pro, and he ended up winning an overall. And then Savannah Watchman, our other friend, who's from Utah, wins the bikini overall. So I basically suck, because I couldn't clutch up and be men's physique Mr. USA. But we got 2 Mr. and Mrs. USA in the 801. So shout out to us. But anyway, so we're almost to the gym now, so that was literally perfect timing, because I think I just filled it in as much as I could. But yeah, so that is the journey to IFBB pro kingdom. But obviously my goal is never to be a pro, so next stop we're going to the O, and I have zero doubt in my mind that that's gonna happen next year. I literally haven't had an off season in 2 years. I'm more dedicated and more locked in and focused than I was when I was chasing the pro card, because now this is my job. Before it was a hobby. So I'm gonna do my pro debut in April for sure, and honestly I think I'm just gonna win that shit. And that's not even me being cocky, I just know that no one's gonna outwork me. and I know how I train, and I'm 25 years old. And I've been doing this not very long. So let's see what happens with a good coach, an off season, and a little motivation at the end of the tunnel that isn't just a piece of paper. Let's talk about a big fat check. So anyway, we're gonna go chase a sick push day now. That was like literally perfect timing. So yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll do 2 videos. Maybe we'll do this in 1, but this is about to be a banger. So, peace out, bitches. I was saying how that dude tore his peg with you last week.
Oh my fucking god. I felt so bad. I've never felt so genuinely bad for an individual in a given situation.
I literally walk over and he's like...
Bruh,
I thought
he was like, I'm just gonna go for 1. There was like 365 on the bar, and I'm like, because he's a big dude. I'm like, he's probably gonna get it, and he does get it, and he gets 1, and then he's like, I'm gonna do another 1, and I'm like, the first thing that popped in my head is like, what's the worst that could possibly happen? Yeah. I thought it was gonna like drop on his neck.
And you have to pull it.
Yeah. And then he goes to press it, and he looks shaky. And I literally see his elbow go out of positioning, and then it tears. So it's literally his form.
He was literally doing everything though that day. I'd seen him hit like every lift that day.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he just hit you up because of who you are. Like, let me have that serious button. You know what I mean? And he probably saw you were videoing.
Yeah.
Think about it, because I literally was watching him do biceps earlier.
For real?
Yeah.
And I bet his bicep was like bugging him too.
And then
shit.
he did 365. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
That makes your biceps tighter.
He was talking to 2 people that I was talking to while he was doing biceps.
Yeah. So, training your biceps before.
Train responsibly.
And you'd be like, all tight and then it pops.
That's disgusting. Anyway, have a good lift.
Yeah.
All right. I'm probably gonna do like 2 warm-up sets on this, and then I've been doing a lot of volume stuff. Not saying that I'm like going away from progressive overload. It's just like I'm still recovering from just prep and just going hard to shit. So I'm kind of doing like a deload type of program for like 4 to 6 weeks, just focusing more on like progressive overload through volume, which obviously that's substantially harder to do. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So like a lot of intensifiers, drop sets, cluster sets, back off sets. So I'll warm up on this. Since it's push day, I'll probably do three chest, 3 shoulders, and 1 tricep. Just because Ariel told me to stop training on. So. We're going heavy. So you're just gonna get my face tattooed. Just kidding. My thing is I usually just have like 5 things that I like, and then I get there and then I'm like, shotgun, like this is what we're doing. So Nikki's like, you're gonna get another tattoo, you need to like it for like X amount of time. But I was like, I'm good. So I already paid for it. And I haven't even seen it yet. Or do I know what I'm getting? But hey, I'm gonna get something. So I don't know. Bodybuilding's hard. They really like the pretty look. They really like the clean look. Even though a lot of the guys do have a lot of tattoos, I genuinely believe that like you're more marketable and it just looks better. Look at C-Bum. He has the forearm, but like with this tan on, you can't really see it. So just nothing on the body, you know. But I think, yeah, I'm for sure. I was like, Nikki, write out Nicole, because I don't ever wear a wedding ring. I was like, write it out in your cursive and I'll get a tattoo. So yesterday I'm like, okay, show me your penmanship. She writes that shit out. I was like, forget it. I was like, I'll do it myself. That woman has chicken scratch, is what it is. Sorry, Nikki, happens. She's like, let me see yours. I write it. She's like, damn, that's actually really good. I'm like, I know. If you're gonna do something, be great at it. So anyway, last set, let's get it. Set, and basically I'm gonna go down to 2 plates and a quarter. I'm gonna do 10 reps, 8 seconds, 10 reps, 8 seconds, 10 reps, and that will be 1 set. So get it. SST 6 after hits or after my lifts. Trying to flex 15 seconds, hold the, like whether it's a pose, whatever. Obviously sometimes chest is kind of hard for me to flex. The other ones I've been really good at. So anyway, that's all we're doing here. Gonna go hit our next exercise. Need to bring up upper chest. Gonna do 3 sets of like 10 to 12. This will be my last chest exercise. And then we'll move on to shoulders because you can always have bigger shoulders in men's physique. My sodium. I'm not sure the thought process behind it. If I'm being honest, probably because he's planning on me eating like a dickhead. So he's like, don't have salt in these meals. But now I get the worst fucking cramps every day, dude. Thought I tore my Achilles the other day. It cramped up so bad. And just barely both feet, same time. I was like, God damn it. Oh, cramps, man. Feel for you women out there. Just kidding. Gonna do 3 sets warmed up from chest. I usually do a drop set, but now it's busy as fuck. So trying to watch my profanities for Mom. She always comments on it. I'm gonna fill this, and then I'll probably go up to like, I usually do 4, but this is the end of my exercises, so yeah, we'll go up. That's way right. But I'm not doing 4. Alright. We're gonna do 2 sets. Okay, the goal is to do 2 sets of this way, and then I'm gonna do another blood driver like that. That 10-8, 10-8, 10. And then I'll probably hit 1 tricep. Because I ended up doing a drop set over there. So that's a lot of volume. We'll see how I'm feeling after this. I'll hit this again. I'll give it, I usually rest periods. Everyone asks me, how long should your rest periods be? They should be as long as they're intended for, to rest between sets. Once you feel like you've recovered from the previous set, then hit it. Sometimes my rest times are 3 minutes. Sometimes they're 45 seconds. Depends on the lift, depends on the level of fatigue you're already at. A lot of factors. So there's where you're like being intuitive with your body comes into play, you know, like you are the driver of your body. You know your body better than I do. So obviously, like I try to keep it around 90 seconds max. But like coming off from show prep, entering a health phase, obviously my strength is, I'm struggling to keep the strength up, but I'm going to keep pushing as we push the food. I'm going to try to keep the strength up, but in doing so, my rest periods might get a little extended. So anyway, quick little tip on rest periods. Funny thing is, in December, they were like, you have shit shoulders. And I said, you guys keep that energy for the summer, and these bitches be growing. triceps are tight. And push day is done. Thank you, Elton. All right. Now on to pose for a sec. We'll do a quick physique up. All right. This is all you guys are getting. But not that fat for I've been on the pizza and donut diet for the last 4 weeks, so, well, 3 weeks, but I had 20 tacos 2 days ago, so not too bad. Anyway, that's all you get for now. So concludes push day. I'm going to Lake Powell for a week. Those of you that don't know what Lake Powell is, it's basically a canyon filled with water. There's no land for you to walk on. You live on a houseboat. You don't lift. You pretty much just hang out. So I'm gonna try to be like 85% compliant. So what that's probably gonna look like is I'll have eggs and a muffin for breakfast. I'll eat 3 meals and some snacks. And then my 5th meal will probably be whatever they're having for dinner. And then 6th meal, I'll probably just do my protein shake. So I know I say this every time, but once I get back, I'm gonna be consistent. I promise. Alan's gonna hold me responsible. We're gonna, and yeah, I have a new gym opening by my house. So then we have to be consistent. So anyway, till next time, peace out, bitches.